Sure.
Okay.
Hello,
Yes.
y'all.
Hello, everybody. This is a special episode of Into the Abyss, and it's October 9th, 2020, and we're here with Brian Neal, a stunt man for Lovecraft Country, which is a really good show. So, I am Andrea. We have Leslie that way.
Yeah.
And we're also joined by Brandon. And
Hello.
we're looking forward to an exciting cast, to try to use a punny word. But how's everyone doing this evening?
Andrew, that was a very impressive intro. And
Thank
you've
you.
got the style of a seasoned MC, and we very much appreciate it.
I
It's been
appreciate you appreciating it.
hell yeah. It's been a very busy day. So I know Leslie's been really looking forward to this, like practically the whole week. I don't want to make it sound like you weren't cool. Of course, you very coolly anticipated it.
No, I was a nervous nerd. Just so you know, Brian, I've been a nervous nerd all day because I'm in love with the show. Absolutely in love.
Thank you for watching. Thank you everyone for watching.
So can I ask you, how did you get into stunt work?
Basically, I have a background in gymnastics, cheerleading. I could go on with a list of sports, but I have a few friends that they were, stunt performers, and I just wanted to do what they were doing. So I did some research, Google, great tool, and I found a company that's in Chicago where I'm based, and I just, submitted the information they asked me to. Then waited about 6 months later, I got the call, and my first job was actually for Jonathan Majors on a movie called Captive State.
Nice. Very nice.
That's really cool. Like what are what are the kind of like things that you had to do? Like, did you have to pass any tests? Did you have to show any sort of skills, or what exactly is required?
Yeah, so they want to see, basically what you can do. So of course, I tumble. I'm a, big avid fan of tumbling. I still tumble now. So I have a few montages of me tumbling, and it just shows, my body type, my air awareness. And I just sent in a few videos of me doing that. And for the work that I had to do for Captive State, it was just about movement. So the videos I sent in was perfect for what role I had in that movie.
That's awesome.
I like
now,
that.
You and I are semi-kindred spirits, and I don't know if you looked on my Facebook page or not, but I'm from Chicago.
Woo woo.
Yeah, so bear down. Yesterday was good. Are you a sports fan, Brian?
So I'm petty. So I play probably every sport you can think of. So I don't like watching it because I don't play it.
Oh no, I can totally understand that. And then here is our other kindred spirit that I don't think anybody on the network knows about, but that's
wow.
me.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's that?
I see you.
Person.
That's me from back in the day.
Leslie, what was your training like? What was your, because I imagine you're not tumbling, but I don't know.
No, actually, and somebody else pulled the screen. I actually I took stunt school because I'm afraid of everything.
Okay.
So, so I did it to try to get over my fear of heights. So I did high falls. I did it to get over my fear of firearms. So I learned stunt shooting, and I used to do Wild West shows. I used to ride a motorcycle, and the next thing I was going to do was learn how to do stunts on my motorcycle, but I never got around to it.
Yeah.
This is a badass we're dealing with here.
I had no idea. This makes me feel a little bit nervous about doing the show now.
Maybe this will. Yeah, you're
That's
awful. I better get these screens up one time. She'll come to my house.
Yeah, on a motorcycle apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
And Brian, I saw like on the credits, you filmed partially in Atlanta. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
I'm from Atlanta, so that's pretty dope. It's good to we have a kind of a nice building film and TV industry, so it's always cool to have like my mom watches the show and she'll point out like, oh, I think that was in Atlanta. We always do that with just movies in general. Hey, let me ask you this: you, as someone who's worked on film/television, that is a team process, and just because you do your part in a production doesn't necessarily mean that the production is going to be a great all-around production.
Correct.
So how did you feel about both Captive State as a finished product and also just your role in it? Did you feel satisfied with both?
So, I mean, I would say that like I like sci-fi type of movies. Like horror movies are my favorite, but I mean I delve into the sci-fi genre. But with Captive State, I mean I had no idea what it was about or no idea what was going on. So like when I filmed the parts that I had, which I was just doubling for Jonathan Majors, so it was just a lot of running, a lot of movement, a lot of like thrown by these alien creatures. And I just kind of hoped that it would be like really good. But I mean, like for my first job as a stunt performer, I literally worked maybe like a few weeks on like that big production that was here for like a few months. So I had no idea, like as far as the rest of the movie as a whole, what it was going to even be like. Like in my mind, the movie could have been trash and I would have still been excited because I got to be, and it was like the first thing that I've done as a stunt performer and got credit for it.
That's very cool. I mean, I totally understand that. It doesn't matter. I get why when you're big, when you're a big star, you might want to pick and choose your roles. But when you're first starting out, it's like, whatever,
right.
Please, whatever, just give me a job. And speaking of which, I mean, being in Chicago's got to be a great place to be a stunt guy because of all the shows that are filmed in Chicago, The Chi that you've done, Chicago PD. What else have you done in the city?
So yeah, I've been on Chicago PD. I've done The Chi, Fargo, which is out now. So I'm on episode 5 and episode 10 of Fargo that's out now. A new show that's out now too called Next. I worked on that. I'll be on 2 different episodes on that one as well. I'm like blanking like of the shows that were here. Proven Innocent, when Proven Innocent was here, I worked on Proven Innocent. But for most of the shows, I mean, I've been a double. So like I'm always, being somebody else. But for Fargo, that was the first time where I actually get to be myself, like doing the stunt. And like that's like the biggest thing. And then for Next, I got to do the same thing where I'm not doubling somebody. I just got to be myself. So I mean, working in Chicago it's kind of in the middle, I would say. It's not good, it's not bad. I mean, Empire's gone. So, I mean, I never had a chance to work on that, but like it's done now. And then, The Chi be back. So I worked on every season of The Chi, being a different character on every season of The Chi. And then with Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, we have to basically, I have to hope that they cast somebody that I can double for me to work on it, if that makes sense.
No, totally. And so, I was wondering with shows like The Chi and Lovecraft Country in particular, I mean, those are kind of breaking shows. So have you ever done, or have these 2 or any other shows that you've done, have any of them changed your worldview at all? Like, did you go into a role thinking one thing about the way the world works, and then at the end of production think, wow, that changed how I perceived how whatever?
I would say that about every job I've had, most likely, because I mean, as a beginner, like I'm 3 years in and I'm still new. Like I'm new, very, very new. Like I wouldn't say I'm seasoned to well after like 5 or 6 years. So I mean, we're still being this new, this green in an industry like this, where, you know, we're doing things that are, you know, dangerous, some things that people won't normally do. You know, like you said earlier, you have to get over your fear of heights. You have to learn how to do weapons. Like, yeah, we have to do all of that, and we have to constantly train for it as well. So of course, it definitely like opens my mind to, you know, to see how the storyline goes. Lovecraft is the first time I've ever done an entire production. So like from the beginning to the end, like we started that back in 2018, and we finished, you know, technically early this year, but it should have been wrapped, you know, 2019 at the end of December. But like I was there from the beginning all the way to the end. As for like the Shy, you know, I'm on that one episode. I worked that one day. You know, I might have worked 2 days, but like I have no idea for the other 9 or 10 episodes, you know, what's going on, what's happening. So with Lovecraft was very interesting because I got to be there for like all the behind the scenes things. Like we filmed multiple things at once. And like if, you know, I'm in the trailer, I'm not doing nothing, well, I'm about to go walk on set and see what they doing. So I want to see, you know, what other parts are, you know, are going on with the show that I'm not doing, or rather Jonathan's not even in, and just to see if I can figure out what's happening with the show. So it's a huge like change in my mind for like how things work, how things are run. You know, I mean, before I did stunts, like I did acting, I did modeling. So I mean, I saw, you know, the little pieces of it, but I never got to really focus on like all the behind the scenes stuff. Like I used to talk to the camera operators, talk to the sound guys. I would talk to the crew. Like, all right, how long did it take you to build this set? Like, who's in charge? Like, who had this idea for this set for y'all to build this here? Why can't we go to the actual location? Why are we in studio? Like, so many questions, so many like things that I would have never thought of prior that I've had answered, which just makes the whole production just so cool. And not even specifically for Lovecraft, just all productions to me.
That's awesome. And for anybody who's just joining, our guest tonight is Brian Neal. He is the stunt double to Jonathan Majors, who plays Atticus or Tick on Lovecraft Country. So there was something I really wanted to know if I'm the only one who does it. The first person you make friends with on a movie set is, what's your answer?
What's my answer?
Uh-huh.
The first person I make friends with on a movie set is my actor.
No, craft services, dude. You want to get friends? You gotta make friends with craft services.
His boy's about to go do Marvel, bro. You need to get that. Needs to be your friendship. Craft services comes and goes.
So this is actually funny. So back from like my cheerleading days, my gymnastic days, like I can't eat before I perform. Like it might be just anxiety or something, but like it just make me uncomfortable. So with like craft services, you know, they're always around, but I'm like, yo, hit me when I'm done. Like leave me alone right now. I'm trying to, you know, get in my mode, trying to get, you know, focused. I don't want to have to worry about, you know, throwing up because I'm nervous or, you know, anything else. But I mean, you do got a point though with craft services because they hook you up.
They do. They can hook you up if you're nice to the right craft service person. You will eat like the stars for the entire production. It's awesome. Just
what kind of food are we talking about?
I'm sorry, what, Andrea?
Well, what kind of food are we talking about? Like, what is the depth here?
I mean,
it can be pretty outrageous. It can be, and what the stars get is often different than what the extras get. So that's why you make friends with craft services, because you get what the stars get too. I learned that very early on.
That's true. That's a true statement. That's true. Yeah.
So
I gotta get into the acting game, I think.
Yeah.
You would eat like you would eat so good.
You really will.
Andrea, you're somebody that's very into your diet. So I don't know if you're doing a good job as an actress and they say, Andrea, you can have anything you want. You're the star now. With having access to that much power, just physically make you break your carefully
I think what we'd
regimented
have
diet?
to do is write that into the show. Like it would have to be a part of the character I play. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to actually go about that whole production. It would just probably cease after episode 3 or 4.
You tell the director, I'm getting a little big next year, so just write it in.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Do you have that kind of a writer in your contracts, Brian?
No.
No.
Well, you may want to put one in there. So I want to ask about this picture. What is that about?
What is happening? What is happening?
So when I first started modeling, I connected with the photographer, and like, he's unique. I'm gonna use the word unique. And when I first got started, I was doing a bunch of what would you call it? Like, it was like group shoots. Like, it would be maybe like 10 to 12 of us. We all meet at a location. 5 or 6 photographers would show up and just shoot. And like, the pictures were so like unique. Like, they weren't what I was used to. Like, they weren't catalog shoots. They weren't, advertisement shoots. And when I met that photographer, he had this circus theme that he wanted to do. So I'm like, okay, I dig the circus. Like, what you have in mind? And he was like, all right, just come to the studio and we'll just, spitball and think of some things. Well, he had the little trapeze there. And I'm like, yo, if I hung from this, would that look cool? And he was like, oh, no, let's see. And I'm like, well, I'm going to take off my shirt and let's see where it go.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks good. And okay, so for those who don't know how we met, do you mind if I explain how? Okay. So Brian is amazingly generous. He happened to show up in a Lovecraft Country group discussion on Facebook. And he started posting behind the scenes pictures. And I went, I have a podcast. Let's see if he'll do it. And so I sent him a DM and he said yes.
I love that.
Which I was shocked. You were incredibly generous. And I wanted you to talk to about why you're doing this, because you said specifically you had a reason why you're doing it.
So, like, my biggest thing has always been, I'm not like, I have the Instagram, I have the Twitter. And I mean, if you look at my accounts, like, I don't really follow that many, big A-listers or anything of that sort. I mean, I have my select few that I do, but I mean, like, I'm not on there liking everything that they write. I'm not on there commenting on everything that they write, because I know they don't respond to everybody. Like, what I've been noticing, what I've been seeing is, they respond to people like them. Like, A-listers respond to A-listers, and sometimes not even that. Like, if you're not in their circle, it might not, catch their eye, but 9 out of 10 times, if you got one of those little check marks and stars, you're gonna get a response. Now, everybody's not like that. Some people do take time to respond, but they don't respond to everybody. But my biggest thing has always been, well, why not? Like, what are you doing that you can't, respond to everybody, or at least a majority? Like, you have your own life. Sure, that's perfectly fine. But I mean, also, responding to your fans, that could make somebody's day. That could make somebody like happy. Somebody could be doing, terrible in the week, and they post a picture and they just like, oh my God, I like your hair. And they write back, oh my God, thank you. And they just like, oh, shit, I just made a comment and they responded like, fuck, like, okay, my day ain't that bad no more. My week's not that bad no more. And for me, I mean, I don't think I'll ever be like to the point where I can't respond. I can't, say, hey, yeah, I'll do that. I'll make time. I can have time to, do this. And it's fun. Like, why would you not? Like, I remember even in that the Facebook group, somebody, mentioned, why do I do this? And I'm like, well, why not? Well, I mean, I got all the behind the scenes stuff. Like, I don't know if Lovecraft gonna be on DVD or not, but I mean, if it's not, well, here you go. You get to see everything that I saw while I was there. So I mean, it's not fair for me to just keep it and hold it to myself. I mean, I have a lot of different things that I do have from all of the shows, all of the movies that I've been a part, where like I have pictures, and I mean I don't post them because I don't want like that type of gratification, if that makes sense. Like, you know, my work to be my work. So I mean, the only picture I have with Jonathan is that one that I posted in the group, and we don't have any other pictures together. But I don't need that pictures. I don't need anything else. My name's up. My name is in the credit with his name. That's all. That's good with me.
Oh, that's awesome. Go ahead, Brandon.
So listen, we're near the end of Lovecraft, and obviously I haven't seen the last 2 episodes because I moved, so I'm a little bit behind. The last one I saw was the Korean War episode, so no spoilers. But we don't know for sure whether there's going to be a season 2. There just hasn't been an announcement, and I don't know if we know what the structure of the writing is and anything like that. You as a performer or as an artist, do you find more fulfillment in the idea of sticking with one production for a long time? Or do you think that you'd be more interested in, like, at the end of your career looking back and saying, I did this challenge, I did this challenge, I did this challenge?
Well, I worked on multiple shows while I was doing Lovecraft. So I didn't just do Lovecraft. I was working on, I worked for Tyler Perry on The Oval when I was doing Lovecraft. I came back and did The Shy when I was working on Lovecraft. And I mean, I think for me, just because of like the times and how everything is, like looking back to say like I did this show is gonna be like huge. Like I remember watching Watchmen, and I'm like, dang, I wish I could have worked on that. Like that was so impactful. That was so, you know, like great to watch. Mind you, filming Lovecraft at the same time as that was, you know, filming and airing was just like I had no idea Lovecraft was going to be like this. I had no idea Lovecraft was going to have this type of impact. I wish everything I work on well. I wish everything that I, you know, have the chance to be a part of does great, does amazing. It's not going to happen all of the time, but I mean, the well wishes, everything that I can hope for, just in my mind, should be, you know, good for me. How everybody else feel, you know, everybody don't like everything. So, you know, it might not be everybody's cup of tea. Well, okay, don't watch it, whatever. But for the people that do like it, that do watch it, you know, thank you. Like, appreciate that. Watch it more. Hopefully, you know, we can get a season 2. And I mean, as far as, you know, with how Watchmen worked, they didn't announce anything until after it was over. So I'm assuming the same thing is going to happen for Lovecraft. And it's had the same amount of viewership, the same amount of, you know, following. So I'm assuming it's going to be okay. And I will hope that we don't have any, you know, issues with, you know, people not wanting to come back and do a second season, and everything works out good, and then we could just, you know, get a second season. And hopefully it starts next year.
Yeah, I know that the Watchmen team, they just said the story had been told, but I think there's so much appetite for these characters. As long as there's more story to be told and the creators want to come back and do more, I think we'll be very enthusiastic about staying with that journey.
Right. So the thing with Watchmen, I think one of the writers has said that he told his story, but he's happy to pass it to someone else. So I mean, somebody else, come on, come do this so we could get a Watchmen season 2, so I can work on it.
Okay, and are we getting a semi-spoiler that Lovecraft Country is a one and done, or have you heard any rumblings?
It's based on a novel, so
yeah.
I don't know the whole details.
So I started reading the book because I didn't want to spoil anything for myself. So I remember when I first got the call for Lovecraft, I bought the book the next day. I started reading it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is, you know, 100% my genre, the type of thing that I like, love. And I mean, I love horror. This is a horror show. Oh my God, I'm a part of this horror show. This is amazing. I need to start reading this book so I don't like know what's coming or expect what's coming. Like each time I worked, I had no idea what was going on, what was going to happen, and it was more exciting.
do you treat like each time you go on set as like kind of like putting puzzle pieces together when it comes to like the kind of thing? Because like I'm assuming you don't do it all in one, like, you know, like this scene A, then B, then C, right? Like it's out of order in some of the ways you film it and everything, right?
Oh man, Lovecraft was filmed in no order. Like we shot the pilot, so we did episode 1 in 2018 in Chicago, and then we didn't start the rest of it until when did I go down? May in 2009 in Atlanta. So from doing the pilot until doing like all the rest of it, you know, it was like, okay, we did 1. How many episodes is it going to be? I don't know. They don't know. Okay, well, let's go. First episode we started on was episode 3. And I'm like, well, wait, are we going to do 2? And they go, yeah, later. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how this is supposed to work. All right, because I haven't done a whole series. So we shot all out of order. So it was one time where we did a break. And before the break, it was, I want to say, what episode? I think it was episode 6 that Atticus wasn't like too much in. And of course, I wasn't working because he wasn't working. And when we came back, we shot episode 4, which was all the water work. And well, I had no idea. Like, why are we in water? Why is water here? What is this big tank, you know, that's sitting over here? What's happening? We were just outside on the farm, and now we in water. I don't know what's happening.
So it's got to be disconcerting if it's the first time you've ever done something like that. So let me ask you, this one right here, this is in Letty's house, out in front of Letty's house, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and this looks like the scene from last week's episode 8, is it?
Sorry, Brandon, we did a spoiler.
Yeah.
That is a low-key spoiler, but it's all good.
Okay.
I'm not one of those people, like literally all bullshit aside. The show is so good that even if somebody spoiled it for you, you would still watch it.
Oh yeah, because I mean, this don't really show you nothing. I mean, it's the picture of, you know, just setting up. Which this is from episode 8.
Okay, so Brandon, close your ears for like 2 seconds because I want to say something about episode 8. So if you don't want a spoiler, I want to shag it. When it came up out of the ground and Tick basically did a How to Train Your Dragon, I screamed at my husband, I want one.
You know what was funny was watching that episode, I like totally forgot like that's what, you know, was supposed to happen, because of course while we on this street, well, they're not there. So like pretend like they're there because nothing's there.
Yeah. So do you have to?
I'm like, wait, something's supposed to stop it, and then it pops out, and I'm like, oh, that's right. I forgot.
So what is that like working against nothing in a scene as a stunt person?
So I mean, that's like a lot. I would say for stunts, most of the time it's probably nothing. Like nothing's really there. Especially with a show like this with a lot of CGI with the monsters. And right. I mean, they have cardboard cutouts, which I think is fun. So I mean, you know, they have like the little cardboard that they just sit right there, and you like, okay, but this thing is supposed to be like 8 feet tall and it's supposed to have all these eyes, but you just put this little cardboard poster in front of me. But I'm supposed to look up there. Okay, well, this is where the acting comes in. That's why they say stunts is just, you know, part of acting as well, because we're actually portraying that actor portraying that character. So I'm Brian being Jonathan being Atticus.
Okay. And what's this one from?
Episode 1. That was the lovely overnights we did in the woods for the scene where the cops take them into the woods, and they're basically are planning to kill them, but the, you know, lovely Shogas, Christina Shogas, come up and basically kind of save the day, and we run from it. So this was right after we got sprayed in the face with fake blood to simulate when the officer got eaten. They shot us in the face with fake blood. It was actually like a spray cannon, which they also did in episode 8. So that was us in that episode, and then actually Journey and Jonathan did it in episode 8.
Nice. And I mean, I want to shout out, put that back up again, Andrea, please. I want to shout out to the special effects team, because the special effects team on the show, they're amazing.
I used to just sit there and like kind of follow him and like walk behind him almost, because I just wanted to know, like, in his mind, what was he thinking? Like, what was he like, wanting to do? Like, he had so many ideas, so many things that, he would, run around and, yeah, this might work, that won't work. Well, let's shoot them all. And then, at the end, we'll see what really works. So, like, he just, like, I think he saw everything in his mind, as we over here not looking at nothing. He saw it all. He knew what he wanted everything to look like, how he wanted to go, and basically just said, hey, shoot it like this, we'll take care of it. Like, it was so smooth. He was so smooth with it.
That's amazing. And also the makeup artists are pretty on point. And I love the fact this got a big round of applause on the Facebook group. Your regular back, and then what the makeup team does to make you look like Tick from behind.
Makeup was they're so good. Sandy's the head of makeup, and she is phenomenal. She's amazing. Like, she, of course, mostly does Journey and Jonathan, and she's always there when I got airbrushed, just to make sure everything looked right. Everything, make sure. First off, it was about me. It was making sure I was comfortable. Hey, like, how does it feel? Does anything irritate? Does anything feel weird? You okay? She'll check on me like through the whole day. And I mean, I'm used to being airbrushed. I've done it when I modeled and stuff. So it was, easy for me, something that, was something I was used to coming into this. So being airbrushed was, not really a thing. And just seeing that, like, it just blew my mind. I was like, y'all cover all my tats. Like, my whole back is like full of tattoos. And gave me his birthmark. Like, dang, y'all good.
It does. And I've been trying since now, even though I've known that there were stunt doubles, I've been trying to figure out when it's you and when it's Jonathan. And so far I haven't been able to do it.
Good.
Has there been anything that surprised you about doing Lovecraft or any other shows?
Surprised me how? Like,
in any way?
I mean,
good, bad, indifferent.
Like, just the work that's required, the things that are required it's not easy. Like, I know a lot of the stuff seems like it's easy. I mean, being like honest, like Jonathan said it in one of his interviews, like, honestly, Jonathan does do most of his stunts, like, for like what you guys watch. But of course, behind the scenes, I'm doing it first. I'm making sure that, hey, this is safe. I know Jonathan's athletic. I know Jonathan can do this. Like, but I want to make sure, like, hey, when we get here, he asks me, like, hey, how do I do this? And I tell him that, he's like, all right, and he trusts me 100% with what I told him. And with some of the things, like the very first episode, like I said, this is at that time was the biggest thing I've ever done. I mean, I had the Captive State already, but like it wasn't even out yet. Like, I did the pilot for Lovecraft before Captive State came out, and like it was so much stuff to do. And the biggest scene, that was me jumping out of the way of that car coming through the cabin, that was, interesting because I tried to get Jonathan to do it, but he didn't want to do it. So, I took one for the team on that one. But I mean, like, it was just like, it was crazy. Just knowing, like, all right, this is probably going to be the biggest stunt I'm ever going to do, at this point in my life. Let's get it. I'm excited. Let's go. Like, it's so much that goes into it, so much training. Like you said, you did the training and stuff earlier, down in Texas earlier, and it's so much. You got to keep your body like agile. Like that was me rolling down the hill in the first episode too. And I mean, with something like that, you can't practice that. You just got to do it. The hill was very steep. So, I mean, once you go down it. There wasn't no stopping like, nah, let me, hang right here and roll from there. No, once you start at the top, you go to the bottom. It wasn't no in between. So it's just a lot of different things come up that I think you just gotta like trust yourself. If it's not something you feel comfortable with, speak up, say something. Like if you're not feeling it, don't do it. It's not even worth, your life. It's not worth you getting injured or any injuries, which I can also say too, knocking on wood real fast. I've never been hurt, never been injured in any stunt, and I don't plan on getting hurt or injured in any stunt. So you just got to make sure you're always safe.
No, that's a really good point. And I was going to ask you, you kind of answered sort of my next question. You haven't been injured, but have you been on any sets where anybody has?
Oh, yeah. For Captive State, it was my very first day.
Oh, no.
Man. And then we had a stuntman get hurt right before I was supposed to shoot my scene. And I'm like, are we still going to do this? Do I still... Like this he's been doing stunts for a long time and he got hurt. What we doing again? Do I gotta do it? I'm a little nervous. Okay, it's fine. I'm gonna be okay. I'm not that person. I know what I'm doing. We rehearsed this. I'm gonna do what we rehearsed. Call it a day. I seen was a couple of injuries on Lovecraft too, and I mean, saying it again, like you just gotta, know your own means. If something don't seem right, something don't feel right, say something. You have that right. You have, to protect you first. It's all about safety. And mind you, the set's very, very, very big on safety. We have a lot of safety coordinators that's there. And if, they say, hey, do you want to practice this? Fucking practice it. Don't try to, be manly or womanly and just be like,
I got this.
Fuck you do. Like, take that practice because you don't know what's gonna happen or how it's gonna end, and it's not gonna end well if you don't take that practice shot.
Leslie, do you have any professional experience where they asked you to do something where it was either very challenging or you were like, nah, that won't be me?
Only doing stand-up and not really them asking me to do something, but they tried to send me to Mississippi by myself. And I went, no, I'm a little black girl and a little white escort. I'm not driving through Mississippi or doing gigs in Mississippi by myself. So that's the only time I've ever come close to that.
That's when they get you the stunt POC hat and they put it on you and they're like, listen, you got to go out there. You got to just do it. Don't say no.
No, you don't. You always get to say, you always get to choose as an actor, as a performer. You can pretty much always choose if you want to do something or not. Now, granted, you can get fired, but correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. I mean, there's certain things you don't have to do anything. You can choose not to do a job. I mean, or walk away in the middle of a job if need be. Yeah. I mean, you got to protect yourself. But I want to be in protecting yourself and what you're doing and being so gracious to your fans. Do you worry? Because I've seen the women coming at you on Facebook. And and I'm sure your fiance is not thrilled about that. So how do you handle that?
I mean, like, it's actually okay. It's not even bad. I mean, you know, like I said, I used to model, so I mean, like, I've done like so much, and I mean, I've been on, you know, billboards, magazines. I've been in like a lot of stuff, and you know, I take it as a compliment. You know, thank you. Like, it's not meaning anything more or less than as far as, you know, you appreciating the work. Like, I worked hard, like, you know, my whole life brought me to here, and it's just all humbling. Of course, I'm probably the most humble person I know. And, you know, I would never, you know, take it more than what it is. It's, you know, I'm being, you know, that person that's, you know, posting this stuff in the groups, and, you know, you can see me versus now you see Jonathan. You can put me and Jonathan side by side, and it's like, all right, you guys are two totally different persons. You're like, right, you know, I'm light skinned, you know, he's a little darker than me, but I mean, even still, but like our actions are the same, like things of, you know, topics. Like, I remember talking to him about The Last Black Man in San Francisco, and I was just like, dude, like, I love that show, or the movie rather, because that was like you. Like, that wasn't you acting, that was you. And I know that because that's me. And it's just humbling. It's just, you know, very, very, you know, thankful for it. And I mean, it's all okay.
For people who don't know, can you talk about Last Black Man in San Francisco and what your experience was like watching it?
So basically, Last Black Man in San Francisco is basically about a guy who is kind of trying to, I guess, inherit the house. And Jonathan's role is he's like the nerdy best friend. And I mean, like, watching it, for me, being 100% honest, was just mostly watching Jonathan because that's my work. You know, he's my actor, and I watch him to learn. So knowing that, you know, we're going to be doing Lovecraft, I'm just watching everything that he does so I can mimic everything he does if I need to, if I have to. You know, how does he act in this? How does he react in that? Which is mostly why I watched The Last Black Man in San Francisco. But I actually really love the movie because it was very unique to me. It won awards because it should have, and it is just something that you don't see as far as like big cinematic things. Like, it was an independent thing, and it did very well. And I mean, if you haven't seen it, y'all need to go. Y'all need to watch it. Like, it's awesome.
I actually haven't seen it, so that's going to be my next project, I think. But
yeah, Jonathan is he's a whole different character from what y'all see in Lovecraft versus Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Yeah, see, I got turned on to him in The Five Bloods.
Okay.
Which is a completely different character than Tick.
Yep.
On Lovecraft. And what's really funny is Tick being a war veteran in Lovecraft, and then if you watch The Five Bloods and him hanging out with a couple of Korean war veterans or Vietnam war veterans,
yep.
The contrast is really great. So if you haven't seen that and you have watched Lovecraft Country, I would recommend The Five Bloods. It's really good.
Is that a show or a movie?
It's a movie on Netflix.
Okay. And
with that said, Brian, what are you watching now?
Oh, what am I watching right now? Well, I'm watching a lot. Watching Lovecraft Country, of course. I'm watching Fargo. I'm watching Next. I'm just watching everything I worked on. So, I'm not one of those people. But
boosting your ratings, I get it.
I'm excited for what is the one that I think it came out today? The Bly Manor, Haunting of Bly Manor. I think
the Haunting of Bly Manor. Yes, the sequel to Haunting a Hill House. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
got the same cast. And they're going for like an American Horror Story, run it back kind of thing. That's interesting. Let me ask you this. Is there anything that's gotten pushed back because of COVID and the quarantine and all that situation that you really wanted to watch this year, but you're like, oh, this is going to be 2023 or whenever it comes out? Were you really looking forward to Batman or James Bond or Dune or any of these?
I would say I was definitely looking forward to Dune. That trailer had me yelling, but I mean, that's okay. With the Batman, not so much. I mean, it's been so many different changes. I'm like, I'm gonna have to wait on that one. Like, I haven't even watched the trailer or anything dealing with that. I'm like, y'all take y'all time with that. Y'all might.
They got him like the Crow now. He's wearing like the little emo makeup. It's like what you would expect, like a Twilight Batman to look like. But
just about to say that.
but it's kind of dope. It's from the Planet of the Apes dude, so he's making it work. Like I can see people being into it. A little cute Batman.
That's who did Captain State.
Yeah, that's good plug. Can you talk about that? Because you haven't really talked about that project.
Captain State?
Like, yeah, you're here, so you might as well let people know what's up.
Please.
Oh, so Captain State, it had Jonathan Majors, John Goodman, Vera, I cannot pronounce her last name, Vera Farmiga. I think that's how you say it. It was basically a futuristic dystopia where aliens took over Chicago, and it's a resistance basically fighting back. It's I would say it's a little slow to start, but it does definitely pick up when Jonathan comes in. So yeah, I would say he had majority of the action stuff in there, which is me. But he did a few things on his own too in that movie. And the movie, I think it did okay. It came out it came out right after Captain Marvel, and I was like, well, that wasn't a good thing there. We're not going to be able to get people to watch us because, I'm going to go see Captain Marvel too. Dang, but Captain State, pretty not too bad. If you into sci-fi, you into aliens, that's the movie for you.
Awesome. Has COVID kind of put a kibosh on your work, or have you stayed busy?
So of course, when everything first got shut down, I was hoping to be going down to work on The Harder They Fall, but I never got the call. So was kind of just, pushing that aside, just, going back to training, getting ready for, whatever will come next. But then everything stopped. So some things got pushed back, some things just got canceled. So when we heard talks of things starting back up, I think actually LA did first, but they got shut down right away because there was no restrictions, no plans. So they got, turned down right away. Then I heard Atlanta was probably going to start back. But when Chicago started back with Fargo, we only had 2 episodes left to film. So they were like, hey, if we follow these guidelines, do these, little 2 episodes, it should be okay. And we did. We was able to finish the last 2 episodes. Literally like a month and a half ago is when we finished it. And Fargo came out 2 weeks ago, and now they have everything they need. Everything's done, so it could just play its course. And then I've worked in Atlanta since then too. They're doing a new, it's called the Go Big Show. That's kind of like not American Idol. What's the other one? America's Got Talent. With Snoop Dogg's a judge. And it's basically performers, competing to win a prize. And we got to work on a performer, which was cool, doing like some acrobatics, and it was actually pretty awesome. So I've had the chance to work 3 times since the restrictions have been a little lifted. So still a little slow. Not everything is fully back, but hopefully within the next few months, things do come back, and I can work more again, here, fly out to LA, fly out to New York, fly out to Atlanta, and just, work more.
Hey, Leslie, if you don't mind, we've got some questions from the audience.
Yeah.
And I thought that a couple of them were interesting. So, how do you feel about getting call sheets the day of the call, just a few hours before? Have you ever been frustrated like that? And another question is, and this can be for both of y'all. What's the tallest thing that you've had to jump off of?
I'll go with the tallest thing I've jumped off of was 32 feet. And I was to an airbag.
What was it for?
I was training. It was training.
Oh, okay.
Do it for anything. It was just part of training. Just, I want to go as high as you can let me go. Like, I was literally on top of a building and jumped off a building into an airbag. So
that's scary.
32 feet and below I could do.
Yeah, I don't know the height that I've done, but I've jumped off the top of a building as well. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
I was a little nervous, but then it was fun when I was falling.
No, it was fun once I hit the airbag.
That's fair. I did it 3 times, so I was excited.
Oh, we had to do it once a week in our training.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to do high falls once a week, because it was my training was 5 days a week for a couple of months.
Okay.
And once a week we did high falls. So
wow. I want to do that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Y'all can do it together, man. Y'all can do it together.
Will you hold my hand, Brian?
I'll hold your hand. We'll fall together. Or we could do a header. Would you do a header?
No. I'm still okay. Here's the thing. I took stunt school to get over my fears and didn't. I'm still afraid of everything.
For those that don't know, a header is falling down head first, and then you roll over to your back.
No, thank you.
No.
Well,
I'll try it, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think Andrew and me are both in the profile of we'll try it for money. Whatever. Listen, Leslie, my cell phone battery.
I'm sorry.
My
what?
cell phone battery's at 2%.
I'm sorry.
And I've got to guess we're at 50. Brian, I loved being here, and I hope to see you as soon as possible. And hopefully we get to hang out again. And Leslie, you were a little nervous about this show going well. It's been awesome. It's been great.
Brian, you don't understand. You can't see me from here down, but from here down, I'm hives. I broke out in hives.
So I'm gonna step out.
But my body is a professional and knew don't touch the face.
There you go. You have to make sure that's really the only thing that matters here. Like, you don't even have to wear pants. You don't have to wear anything. All you have to do is make sure it looks like you might have a shirt on, but even then, depending on your camera angle, maybe you can get away with it. That's really all that matters.
That's true.
So, hey, Brian, we're getting ready to go into the post show. Can you hang out for another 15 minutes or so?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's
in the
awesome.
Meantime, Andrea, do you want to tell the folks what we got going into the post show, how we get into the post show, and what we got going next week?
I would like to do that. I would actually do that. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. So, the Patreon, which you can patronize yourself, is patreon.com/notsafe. That is the Not Safe for Wonks, Not Safe Media Empire, so to speak. I will post that in the comments section. And I believe now it is $5 if you want to get in at the lowest tier in order to access the post-game show. And that'll be available live as we do it. And it will also be there for you to access at any point. So if you want to go do something else now and then go watch the post show tomorrow morning, that's an option. That's always something you can consider doing. So there you go.
And please, next week, we have another guest. We have Keela Rose Calloway, and it's going to be at a special time at 10:30 Eastern time, because we're going to be doing it live from her home in Vietnam.
Ooh.
So she is an expat, a comedian who's traveled the world, and she is currently based in Vietnam doing stand-up comedy as we speak. So anything you want to plug, Andrea?
I could sit here all day and plug many things. Go watch my show. I've been doing Above It All every single day, 7 days a week, because I have no life. So definitely go watch that. And if you don't want to watch that, then that's fine too.
Oh, and we forgot to do it again. So we've got my book, Forgotten Tomorrows, Crazy Todays, which is available on Amazon. If you have Amazon Unlimited, you can get the Kindle version for free. And I'm giving all proceeds to charity.
That's awesome.
It is the 5-year story of, while I was a stand-up comic, a wife and a mother becoming caregiver to my dad in my house, his mother long distance, both with dementia. And in the midst of the 5-year story, my mom's dad got diagnosed with dementia and wanted to come live with me as well. And it's all of that with my twisted sense of humor.
I look forward to reading it at some point. I think you said you were going to send me one.
Yes, and I haven't done that. What charities, Jason? I've been sending money to veterans charities because my father was a veteran, to Parkinson's charities because my father did get Parkinson's with his dementia, and to dementia and Alzheimer's charities. Just so you know.
Awesome.
So are we ready to get out of here?
Yeah. So again, we'll check y'all in a little bit in the post show. Thank you for watching. Brian, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, but I want to really answer Jason's question real fast about the getting a call sheet 5 hours like before.
Right.
It does suck. So having a bunch of time is not fun. So that answer.
There you go. And we'll see you again shortly. Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye bye.
We'll get Brian to do some spoilers in the post show.
Oh, we will spoil the hell out of this. Don't you worry. All right. I'm pressing the button.